Jingliang Li and Tony Ferguson prediction breakdown, as well as some betting tips. What are you going to do? A prop bet on Jingliang Li by knockout, Tony Ferguson by Darce choke in round number 2. We're going to look at all the best bets you can possibly make for this welterweight matchup, while also giving the prediction and the breakdown. Now, first off, we got to look at Tony Ferguson. Tony has not been doing too good as of late, losing to guys like Michael Chandler, like Beneil Dariush, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje, all of which have either fought for the belt or one fight away from fighting for the belt for their first time in Beneil Dariush. So all of the guys Tony Ferguson is losing to are very, very legit guys. Now, in this fight with Jingliang Li, what fight would I most resemble the Jingliang Li versus Tony Ferguson fight? It's not going to be Michael Chandler. I don't think Tony Ferguson's going to go out there and outstrike Jingliang Li in this fight, and then Jingliang Li's going to go out there and out-wrestle Tony Ferguson. I can't really see the outcome or the path to victories of the Michael Chandler-Tony Ferguson fights happening. I don't see Jingliang Li doing what Beneil Dariush did, what Charles Oliveira did. But I can see Jingliang Li going out there and trying to do and replicate what Justin Gaethje was able to do at UFC 249. If you guys do not remember what Justin Gaethje was able to do in that fight, he was able to defend the takedowns, defend all the Eminari rolls and submission attempts and things like that of Tony Ferguson, and make it a 5-round striking fight. He didn't go crazy. He didn't go out there and just start winging punches, but he played it slow, he played it patient, and every now and then, he would explode with a big combination. He would stay on the outside, pick his shots perfectly, and then explode with a big combination. I think Jingliang Li's best path to victory in this fight is to replicate what Justin Gaethje was able to do. Plus the fact that Tony Ferguson is getting older, he's 38 and a half years old, he's not going to be as tall as Jingliang Li, and the fact that Tony Ferguson, his chin, is getting a lot worse every single fight. I mean, he took a devastating amount of damage against Justin Gaethje. He took a lot of damage against Michael Chandler, getting front kicked in the face, with a little bit of ground and pound as well. So, again, there is that possibility of Jingliang Li going out there round number 1, going like Michael Chandler, coming forward, landing some huge front kicks, some huge left hook counter, like he did with Santiago Ponzinibbio. There's a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jingliang Li's more a guy that likes to stay on the outside as you're coming in and counter you a little bit. With leg kicks on the outside, he's looking to jab you up, jab you up, jab you up, and as soon as you come in that range, left hook. He's trying to catch you with something big like that. But Tony Ferguson, we all know, has that pretty elusive and weird head movement, where it's going to be hard to counter pretty well on a guy like Tony Ferguson, but I still think he'll land a few shots here and there. I think Tony's best path to victory here would be to mix in the Eminari rolls, mix in the submissions and things like that, and make this an old school Tony Ferguson fight. Go out there and kind of go crazy with the strike and move around, just like absolutely disrupt the countering abilities of Jingliang Li, get in the inside and just make it a rough and gritty fight. In the clinch, looking for elbows, looking for shoulder strikes, looking for knees, try to cut up Jingliang Li. That is how Tony Ferguson is going to win this fight with Jingliang Li, is going out there and legitimately just making making this a dirty fight with Jingliang Li. Usually Jingliang Li has sort of dirty fights, but usually they're technical, they're on the outside landing leg kicks, and then boom, we have a big shot and someone's knocked out cold, like it was with Santiago Ponzinibbio, like it was with Muslim Masalikov. It's pretty close, pretty even in the striking until Jingliang Li lands something big. So I'm not predicting, as you guys see in the thumbnail, I'm not predicting Jingliang Li to go out there and get the finish on Tony Ferguson, because the only way Michael Chandler was able to get the finish was a dang front kick. I don't think Jingliang Li is going to be landing one of those front kicks. The only other time Ferguson got finished was the Justin Gaethje one, and that was just so much volume compounded over 5 rounds. This is 3 rounds. I don't see that kind of volume being in place for Jingliang Li. So I do think the fight does go to a decision. Again, Tony needs to go out there, make it rough, make it gritty, mix in the elbows, clinch up with Jingliang Li, look for submissions, look for takedowns. He just needs to make it a dirty, gritty, elbowing, bloody type of fight if he's going to beat Jingliang Li here. Jingliang Li, like I said, and like I think is going to happen in this fight, because my prediction is going to be Jingliang Li to win this fight by a decision. he's going to go out there, in my opinion, round number 1, he's going to be countering Tony Ferguson in round number 1, trying to find that range to land on the chin of Tony Ferguson, because Jingliang is not going to be like a guy that's like, alright, I don't want to get in the range to Tony Ferguson, because he knocked down Michael Chandler in his last fight. Jingliang does not care. As soon as he finds that opening to land the left hook, land a big right, in round number 1, round number 2, whatever round it is, he will strike at that opportunity, and he will throw with intent to knock you out. So Jingliang Li in this fight with Tony Ferguson needs to stay on the outside, be very, very patient, and figure out the range of Tony Ferguson. That's what I think Jingliang needs to do in round number 1. So round 1, I don't actually see being the most entertaining round by any means, because it's really going to be Tony trying to find his weight to get inside the inside, get the fight to the clinch, land those elbows, try to mix in some takedowns, make it greedy in round number 1. Tony will try to make it a fun round number 1, but overall, Jingliang Li is not going to make it the funnest round number 1, in my opinion, as he's going to be trying to find that range, find his counter left hook, and try to figure out what shots he can land on Tony Ferguson. So I'd see Jingliang Li landing leg kicks early on, figuring out the counters, round 2 and round 3. That's where Jingliang is going to implement those counters against Tony Ferguson, and that's where I think there's a good shot that Jingliang Li could actually knock out Tony Ferguson. I think he'll rock Tony Ferguson in round number 2, but I don't think he gets the finish. Jingliang Li will barely edge out round number 1. The strikes will be even in terms of punches, but he'll have the leg kicks to get him the win in round 1. Round 2, he'll continue with the leg kicks, but his range will be found a lot better. He'll be able to counter Tony Ferguson a little bit better and land some big shots that will be rocking Tony Ferguson in round number 2. And then in round number 3, all heck is going to break loose. I mean, Tony round 3, I think it's going to be an insane round number 3. Ferguson's going to go out there like a bat coming out of the depths of the underworld, and he's just going to go crazy in round number 3 because he's going to realize I'm down 2 rounds. This could be my last MMA fight, because what else is there if I'm losing to a guy that's barely inside of the top 15? So Tony, round number 3 is going to go absolutely insane. Pressure Jingliang Li, look to land some big shots, leave his chin exposed, and there's a good shot Jingliang Li gets a knockout there. There's a good shot Tony Ferguson gets a knockout there. So I think the most likely round that we're going to be seeing a finish here in this fight is going to be the 3rd and final round, because I think Jingliang Li counters him in round number 1, leg kicks the crap out of him in round number 2, lands some big shots in round number 2, and then round 3 Ferguson's going to go crazy. So round 3 will be insane. I think Ferguson's got a shot to win that round, but again, he's going to leave himself vulnerable to a lot of the counters of Jingliang Li, and I still think he will lose round number 3 as well. But that will be the closest round in my opinion, and I think Jingliang Li wins this fight by a 30-27 decision. That is the prediction. That is the breakdown. Now for the bets. There's only one thing to do here, and it's a decision prop. Everyone and their mama is going Li Jingliang by knockout. I haven't seen a single prediction channel out there saying, oh, I got Li Jingliang by decision, I got Ferguson by decision. Everyone thinks this fight is going to be a TKO. If you look at the betting odds, it is plus 110 for Jingliang Li to win the fight by TKO. If you've watched my channel, there's no value in a plus 110. None at all, in my opinion. So the only thing to do here is that sweet double your money Jingliang Li by a decision. And possibly, if you're feeling a little ballsy, go for that plus 240 unanimous decision. That's the only thing I would do. I think maybe starts round 3 would possibly be good as well at minus 120. Because again, I do think round number 3 is going to be the most insane round and likeliest round for a finish. So round 3 probably has some value as well. But put your thoughts down below. That is the prediction. That is the breakdown. Make sure to like this video. We're trying to get this video to 50 likes. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And as usual, we're trying to get this video to this channel to 10,000 subscribers by the end of November, or at least by the end of the year, but we're hoping to get it by the end of at least November. Make sure to subscribe. Let's hit that goal. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.